So which vinyl plank flooring is the best? In the top 10 questions that came in all about this subject today. What's good? It's Carpet Mike here from CarpetExpertBlueprint.com. Thank you so much for tuning into this. Let's go ahead and dive into the top 10 vinyl plank flooring questions that came in for today. Starting off with, which vinyl plank flooring is best? Now, I'm going to keep it real. I installed some Cortec today, which was both installer friendly and looked good. It looks like it's going to wear well, but I'm not saying that's the best. The best way to go ahead and decide if your vinyl plank flooring is best is to get a beefy product that's going to cost about $3 a square foot or more as of this recording right now. I know that's a super janky response, but let's be real. We are in an industry where everybody private labels their own product, so even if I tell you something's killer, you may not be able to get it in your marketplace under the name I suggested. It would be listed under a different name. So any of the big box joints, as of this recording, look for products that are $3 a square foot or more. You will be getting a good quality product in most cases. Now, if you're at a high-end retail joint, they might just be hitting you over the head. So keep that in mind when you're shopping around for a price. Let's dive into the next question here. Will vinyl plank flooring warp? Haven't seen it yet, but that's not to say that it won't. It is vinyl after all, and if you use something too abrasive, like a too strong of a chemical, I could see that kind of warp in the floor. We've had that happen on rubber gym flooring where we tried to clean it with certain products we shouldn't have cleaned it with, and it did buckle up. So I haven't seen it warp yet. The only other way it could possibly warp is if you cut a plank super tight and you just try to cram it into a spot. It may buckle back just because of pressure, not due to expansion and contraction though. So just keep that in mind. All in all, I have not seen it yet, but not to say it wouldn't happen if you use the wrong chemicals on it. Next, this is the big question here. Will vinyl plank flooring settle? That's not the one I was looking for. Yes, it will settle. And what I mean by settle is if you have an uneven floor and it's got a slope to it or maybe just the slightest bit of a ridge, the vinyl plank, it is vinyl. So as it warms up, it gets worn in, it will form to the floor. So you don't have to worry about it in the case of like laminate floors. If there's a big dip in the middle of the floor or something like that, it's literally like being on a springboard. Vinyl in most cases will kind of take shape of the floor and you'll be good to go. Also keep in mind that if it takes shape of the floor, it could show all the major imperfections. So if you have real aggressive ridges, high-low spots, whatever the case, feather those out first. Make sure they're nice and smooth transitions. So while it takes shape of the floor, it's nothing too crazy looking at all. Let's go into the next question. This is what I thought I was jumping into here. Will vinyl plank flooring scratch? This is the big thing that everybody seems to get confused. It is scratch resistant. It is not scratch proof. I know that sounds super salesy there, but let me walk you through this here. It could take abuse. You could do a whole lot to it and you're going to be okay. But let's say you have a heavy table with some sharp little legs on the bottom of it there. You drag it across the floor. The weight with the sharpness of the legs could actually create damage to the floor. So keep that in mind. Basically, common sense is going to be your best friend on that. It ain't so common though, as we like to say. So just know that it is not scratch proof, it is scratch resistant. Let's go ahead and dive into the next here. Will vinyl plank flooring settle over time? We kind of already covered that. Will vinyl plank flooring expand? No, it will not expand. I have not seen this happen yet, although some people want to argue it. In years of installing this stuff, I haven't seen it, whereas with a laminate, it will expand, it will contract, and you want to keep that in mind when you install it. Vinyl, haven't seen it yet, so I would not sweat it, but proceed with caution. Those are my famous last words there. Is vinyl plank flooring waterproof? Yes, it is waterproof. And, all right, fantastic scenario. We pulled a toilet today. The toilet leaked water when we lifted it off the spot. That water went under the vinyl plank flooring. Now, if this was a laminate, that would be troublesome. But with this, we were able to go ahead and pull out a couple pieces of the vinyl plank flooring. We were able to dry out the floor, drop them right back in. It can get wet. We just don't want standing water sitting under it. It was a concrete subfloor. That's why we had to pop it out and put it back together. But no big deal at all. If it was a laminate, the water would have soaked into the planks. It would have expanded. They would have popped. It would have been a hot disaster, and we'd had to start all over again from scratch. Nothing we want to deal with. Let's get into the next question here. Is vinyl plank flooring good? It is fantastic. I should just not even elaborate on that anymore. But in all reality, they've made tons of improvements to the style of the floor and the quality of it. It's a fantastic product. I highly recommend it, and it kicks the crap out of the current laminate floors out there. Having said all that, laminate is supposedly striking back with a product that's going to be cheaper and better, but I have not seen this in action yet, so we're going to go ahead and wait for that to hit the market, and I'll do some follow-ups about that. And what vinyl plank flooring is made in the USA. So I can't give you names on that because once again, we're going back to everything being private labeled, but one thing to keep in mind, more of this comes from China than you may know. And the way we're finding this out right now is with all the new tariff taxes, it's actually pushing the price of vinyl plank flooring up. Something to keep in mind, and you may notice it in your marketplace. As a person on the sales side of it and the installation, we have seen a decent little spike with the tariff tax on it. But other than that, these are all the products coming from China that we're getting taxed on this. Not so much the ones in the USA, even though they'll probably blanket all of them to go ahead and spike profits a little bit and say, oh no, that's just tariff tax. That's all that is. Anyway, that's all I got for you in this video here. If you have any questions about vinyl plank flooring, you know to go ahead and drop those down below. As always, I truly appreciate you tuning into this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.